But what most people don't know, it's a great place to fish.
Oh my gosh, this thing is giant.
It's the ultimate urban fishing experience.
Did you just catch one?
In one of the greatest cities on earth.
There we go.
I'm Mike Iconelli. My friends and I grew up fishing the mean streams and rivers of Philadelphia.
The Bassmaster Classic champion, Mike Iconelli!
Now I'm a professional angler.
You got him!
With a screaming passion for city fishing. All it takes is a little skill and a local
Let's go!
to show you where the fish are biting. New York, New York. It's the city that never sleeps. Which is fine by me, because I'm here to do some serious fishing. That's right, fishing.
People assume New York City is just a concrete jungle, but it's much more than that. This place is surrounded by water. Hudson River, East River, Jamaica Bay. And with all that water, there's amazing fishing opportunities right here in the city.
The best way to see just how much water there is in this city is to head across one of its bridges. There are over 2,000 bridges and tunnels in the New York City metro area. But this one is the most famous, the Brooklyn Bridge.
New York City was colonized by the Dutch. In the early days, it was a fur trading post. And like most other cities, fishing was a huge part of the history of this city. And it's a big part of the economy today.
And I went in on that action before I leave the Big Apple. I've picked 3 of New York's finest as my bucket list fish: the striped bass, the fluke, and the bluefish.
They're not gonna be easy to catch, but they're somewhere in this city.
First up on my bucket list, the state saltwater fish of New York, the striped bass. They're native to North America's Atlantic coast, from Canada to Florida, and are often called stripers. They're nothing like the freshwater bass I catch, and they can be huge.
To give an example, a world-class largemouth bass weighs like 20 pounds. But stripers, they can grow in excess of 50 pounds or bigger. This is the time of the year to catch them in New York. It's the most iconic fish in New York, and my goal today is to jack me a striper.
So I'm in Chelsea on the Hudson River, meeting up with my buddy Frank, and we're going to chase one of these monsters.
Frank?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Come on.
Awesome, appreciate it.
It's a good thing Frank has got a boat that can handle these waves, because the Hudson is choppy.
People don't believe me when I say, listen, it's going to be rough here, but when we get in the ocean, it'll be calm.
It's the reverse of what they normally think.
The Hudson River is about 500 kilometers long and flows north to south. It starts in upstate New York and eventually drains into the Atlantic Ocean between New York City and Jersey City. The river is named after Henry Hudson, an Englishman sailing for the Dutch East India Company who explored it in 1609. The mouth of the Hudson is also home to one of the most famous women in the world. Her name? Lady Liberty.
This makes me just want to take my hat off just for a second. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I'm feeling very patriotic right now.
As you should.
For every American, the statue symbolizes liberty and freedom. But for immigrants arriving in thousands of boats, this symbolized the beginning of a new life.
My grandfather came in from Italy, how 35 days or whatever it took them to come across that ocean, and then they come in this harbor and they see that thing, and they think like, I made it.
It's unbelievable.
You know?
Yeah.
Ellis Island was the first stop for many. This is where they were processed and began a new life in America. Speaking of starting, it's time to get fishing. We're headed out under the Verrazano Bridge. But before we try for striper, we're going to catch some of their favorite food, a bait fish called bunker.
This is a really cool part of fishing that you don't get to see a lot. A lot of times you're buying bait from the store, but this is part of the whole experience. Catching your own bait. You've got to master the technique of knowing how to throw these things.
Bunkers swim in schools, tightly packed and close to the surface in good weather, so they're easy to see. But getting a net on top of them?
Oh boy.
Not so much.
Not good.
Throw.
This is a very ancient type of fishing that might have been invented more than 2,000 years ago.
A throw net's a really tough thing to master. You've got to get that net out there straight so it falls down, and you've got to get right on top of the school's bunker. Yeah! Success! Good job, bro. Wow. Fellas, we hit pay dirt.
Not bad.
Look at that. Let me tell you something. I pride myself on being a good fisherman, but I couldn't catch these fish. Not like that.
They were hard.
And that's a bunker. And that is striper food right there.
It sucks to be a bunker.
And this is part of the process of being a successful fisherman is catching your own bait. And that's how it's done right there. I can't do it.
With a boat full of bunker, it's time to head to an area with some cover structure to see if this live bait will snag me a striper.